This story is about a woman who lost everything: her memory, her child, and her place in the world, and the son who recognized her, not by face or name, but by the bond that even time and pain could not erase. It begins in a marble mansion in Lagos, where a cleaner kneels before wealth that mocks her poverty, unaware that her hands once cradled the same blood that now flows through the air of that very house. From the first moment their eyes meet, destiny begins to stir, quiet, relentless, unstoppable. Beneath chandeliers and secrets, the truth waits to be uncovered, that love does not die, it only hides until it is strong enough to return. Please, Ma, I'm begging you. Chioma was on her knees in the marble bathroom of the Victoria Island mansion, scrubbing red wine from Elizabeth's designer shoes with her bare hands. The chemical smell of cleaning solution mixed with her tears, but she did not stop scrubbing. She could not afford to stop. "You are useless," Elizabeth said, standing over her like a queen watching a servant. "Just like all poor people. Useless and clumsy." The words cut deeper than any blade. Chioma had heard them before, from employers, from strangers on the street, from the world that judged her threadbare clothes and calloused hands. But it never stopped hurting. It never stopped making her feel small. "I will clean it, Ma. I promise. Please don't fire me." Chioma's voice cracked. "My father is dying. He needs dialysis. If I lose this job..." "Your father?" Elizabeth laughed, cold and sharp. "Why should I care about your father? My shoes cost 500,000 naira. Your father's life is not my problem." Something broke inside Chioma then. Not her spirit. That had broken long ago, piece by piece, with every humiliation she swallowed to survive. What broke was smaller, quieter. It was the tiny hope she still carried that maybe someday someone would see her as a human being. She finished cleaning the shoes in silence. Her knees ached from kneeling. Her hands smelled like chemicals. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. Probably another message from the hospital in Enugu about unpaid bills. She ignored it. When she stood up, her legs were shaking. "Now get back to serving drinks," Elizabeth said, examining her shoes. "And if you embarrass me again, I will make sure you never work in Lagos again. Do you understand?" "Yes, Ma." Chioma walked back into the grand ballroom, where Nigeria's wealthy gathered like peacocks showing their feathers. Senators, business owners. Chief titles passed down through generations. She moved between them like a ghost, invisible except when they needed her. Then she saw him. A young man, maybe 19 or 20, standing alone by the window. He wore an expensive agbada, but his face looked lost, sad, like he was searching for something he could not find. "Excuse me," Chioma said softly, offering him a glass of champagne from her tray. "Would you like..." He turned to look at her, and the world stopped. His eyes. She knew those eyes. But that was impossible. She had never met this man before. She would remember, wouldn't she? "Do I know you?" he asked, his voice confused, hopeful. Before Chioma could answer, a woman's scream cut through the music. "Thief!" Someone stopped her. Elizabeth was pointing at Chioma, her face twisted with fake shock. "She stole my diamond earring. I saw her take it." The room turned to stare. Every eye, every judgment, every assumption about poor girls who worked as servers in rich people's parties. "I didn't," Chioma started, but her voice was too small. It was always too small. "Check her pockets," Elizabeth demanded. Chief Edwin Wachaku, the host of the party and one of the richest men in Lagos, stepped forward. He was a large man, powerful, the kind who could destroy a person's life with one phone call. "Elizabeth," he said quietly, "that's enough." "But she stole—" "Your earring is on the bathroom counter. I just saw it." His voice was calm but firm. "You left it there yourself." The room shifted. Whispers started. Elizabeth's face went red with embarrassment and rage. Chief Edwin turned to Chioma. "Are you all right?" It was such a simple question. 3 small words. But no one had asked her that in so long that Chioma forgot how to answer. Her throat closed. Tears burned her eyes. "I made this job," she whispered. "Please, my father." "Come to my office tomorrow morning," Chief Edwin said. "I have a different job for you. One where you'll be treated with respect." Chioma looked into his eyes and saw something impossible. Kindness. And behind him, the sad young man was staring at her, like he had just found something he had lost long ago. Chief Edwin's office was nothing like Chioma expected. No gold-plated walls or leather thrones. Just a simple desk, family photos on the wall, and morning sunlight streaming through tall windows overlooking Lagos Harbor. "Sit down, please," he said, gesturing to a chair. Chioma sat on the edge, her back straight, hands folded in her lap. She had worn her best dress, which was still her worst dress, compared to what people wore in places like this. Her shoes had a hole in the left sole. She prayed he would not notice. "Thank you for helping me yesterday, sir," she said quietly. "I did not steal anything. I would never." "I know." Chief Edwin leaned back in his chair, studying her face like he was trying to solve a puzzle. "Elizabeth has issues with staff. I apologize for how she treated you." "You don't need to apologize, sir. People like me, we are used to—" "No." His voice was sharp. "Don't say that." "Never say you're used to being treated poorly. You deserve respect. Everyone does." Chioma's throat tightened. She did not know what to do with kindness. It felt dangerous, like a gift with hidden costs. "I have a son," Chief Edwin continued. "His name is Chidi. He's 19 years old. Special needs, high-functioning autism. Very intelligent, but he struggles with social situations. He doesn't connect with people easily." "I'm sorry, sir." "Don't be sorry. He's brilliant. But yesterday, something strange happened." Chief Edwin pulled out his phone and showed her a video. "Watch this." The video showed the party. Chioma was serving drinks, and then the young man by the window, Chidi. He was staring at her with such intensity and longing that it made Chioma's heart ache. "He asked about you 5 times last night," Chief Edwin said. "He never asks about anyone. This morning he refused to eat unless I promised to find you. He says his data analysis program, something he built himself, indicates that you're somehow connected to him. Biologically connected." Chioma's blood went cold. "Sir, I don't understand." "Neither do I. But my son hasn't been this engaged with life in years. So I'm offering you a job. Be his companion. Help him navigate social situations." 500,000 naira per month. The number hit Chioma like a physical blow. 500,000. She currently makes 50,000, barely enough for rent and food, with nothing left for her father's medical bills. That's too much, sir. It's exactly right. You'll live here in the compound, private quarters, 3 meals a day, medical insurance for you and your father. Tears spilled down Chioma's cheeks before she could stop them. Why are you doing this? Because my son sees something in you that I don't understand yet. And I learned long ago to trust him. Chief Edwin's voice softened. And because I saw your face yesterday when Elizabeth called you a thief. I saw someone who's been carrying the world on her shoulders for too long. Let me help you carry it. Chioma could not speak, could not breathe. After years of being invisible, someone finally saw her. There's one condition, Chief Edwin added. Elizabeth is my fiancée. My mother arranged the match. Her father is Senator Amadi, very powerful politically. The wedding is in 6 months. Elizabeth can be difficult with staff. If you take this job, you'll need to be patient with her. I can be patient, sir. Good. Can you start today? Chioma nodded, wiping her tears. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Edwin. Call me Edwin when we're not in public. As Chioma stood to leave, Chief Edwin's phone rang. His face went dark as he listened. What hospital? He demanded. When did this happen? He hung up, his hand shaking. My mother. She collapsed. They're saying kidney failure. She needs a transplant urgently. Chioma's father, Edwin's mother, both dying, both needing kidneys they could not afford. Life was cruel that way. It gave you hope with one hand while taking everything with the other. I have to go, Edwin said, grabbing his car keys. I'll pray for her, Chioma whispered. He paused at the door, looking back at her. Start tomorrow. And Chioma, thank you. After he left, Chioma sat alone in that beautiful office, surrounded by wealth she would never have, holding a job offer that felt like a miracle. But in her heart, a small voice whispered a warning. Nothing this good comes without a price. 3 months passed like a dream Chioma was afraid to wake from. Chidi was not what she expected. He was gentle, curious, always asking questions about the world. He did not look at her like she was beneath him. He looked at her like she mattered. Tell me about your village, he would say during their afternoon walks in the compound garden. Tell me what makes you happy. Tell me why you're always sad when you think no one is watching. And slowly, carefully, Chioma began to tell him about her father dying in Enugu, about the accident 19 years ago that stole her memories, about waking up in a government hospital with strangers telling her she had no family, no past, nothing but a name and a body covered in scars. The doctors said I might never remember, she told him one afternoon. They said my brain protected itself by forgetting the trauma. What if you don't want to remember? Chidi asked. What do you mean? What if forgetting is a gift? What if the past is too painful to carry? Chioma had no answer for that, but Elizabeth had answers for everything. Don't get comfortable, Elizabeth hissed one morning, cornering Chioma in the kitchen. You're just the help. Edwin might be soft on you now, but after we're married, you'll be gone. I'll make sure of it. I'm just doing my job, Ma. Your job? Elizabeth's laugh was poison. Your job is to know your place, and your place is beneath me, beneath all of us. Chioma said nothing. She had learned that silence was armor. Then came the day everything changed. It was a normal Tuesday afternoon. Chidi was reading in the library. Edwin was at a business meeting. Chioma was folding laundry in her quarters when she heard the scream. She ran to the main house and found Chidi on the floor, clutching his side, his face twisted in agony. "Call an ambulance," the housekeeper shouted. "His appendix, it's bursting." The hospital was in chaos. Doctors running, nurses shouting medical terms Chioma did not understand. Edwin arrived, his face gray with fear. "He needs surgery immediately," the doctor said. "But we have a problem. He needs blood. AB negative. Very rare. We don't have enough in our bank." "Take mine," Edwin said immediately. "You're O positive, sir. It won't work." "Then find someone. I'll pay anything." Chioma stepped forward, her voice small but clear. "Test me." Everyone turned to look at her. "Test me," she repeated, stronger now. "I'm AB negative. I know because I donated blood once in university, before the accident." The doctor nodded. "Come with me." 20 minutes later, the doctor returned to the waiting room, where Edwin paced like a caged animal. His face was strange, confused. "The girl, Chioma. She has the right blood type, but..." He paused. "Sir, we cannot use her blood." "What?" "Why not? She's a direct blood relative. Parent to child or child to parent. There's a medical condition called graft versus host disease. If close relatives donate blood, it can be fatal." The world stopped spinning. Edwin stared at the doctor. "That's impossible. I don't know her. She's just..." "The blood doesn't lie, sir. She's either his mother or..." The doctor trailed off. Chioma's legs gave out. She sat down hard on the hospital floor, her mind shattering into 1,000 pieces. Mother. The word echoed in her skull. "No," she whispered. "No, I would remember. I would remember having a baby. I would." But she wouldn't. That was the point. 19 years of missing memories. 19 years of blank space where a whole life could have existed. Edwin walked toward her slowly, like approaching a wounded animal. 19 years ago, he said, his voice shaking. "Where were you?" "I don't know. I woke up in a hospital. They said I had an accident." "What hospital?" "Lagos University Teaching Hospital." Edwin's face went white. That's where my mother said she found Chidi. An abandoned baby in the hospital nursery. Chioma looked up at him, tears streaming down her face. "She told me I was never pregnant. She gave me money and told me to forget. She said I was confused from the accident." "My mother did what?" The operating room doors burst open. A nurse ran out. "We found a donor! The surgery is starting now!" But neither Edwin nor Chioma moved. They stood in that hospital hallway, staring at each other, while the truth, terrible and beautiful, settled between them like a living thing. "You're his mother," Edwin whispered. "I'm his mother," Chioma repeated, and the words felt like coming home after a lifetime of being lost. Chief Mrs. Nwachukwu sat in her private sitting room like a queen on trial. Her face was stone, but her hands trembled as she poured tea she would not drink. "Explain it," Edwin said, his voice cold as death. Explain how you stole my son's mother from him. I protected this family. The old woman's voice did not shake. That girl was nobody. No family. No name. No future. She would have ruined everything. She is the mother of your grandson. She is a poor girl who got pregnant from a one-night mistake. Chief Mrs. Nwachukwu stood now, her voice rising. You were 24 years old, drunk at a party, grieving your father's death. You slept with a stranger and forgot her face by morning. When she showed up at the hospital 9 months later, giving birth, I knew she would destroy you. Destroy us. Chioma sat on the sofa, silent, listening to her life being discussed as if it were a business transaction. So you told her she was never pregnant? Edwin's hands curled into fists. You made her think she was crazy. She had amnesia from the accident. She didn't remember anything. I simply helped her forget what would have ruined her life too. Chief Mrs. Nwachukwu turned to Chioma. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me your life would have been better as a single mother with no support, no money, and no education. Tell me. Chioma's voice came out broken. You stole my son. I gave him a future. I gave him everything. You gave him everything except his mother. Tears poured down Chioma's face. Do you know what it's like to feel empty for 19 years and not know why? Do you know what it's like to look at children and feel a pain so deep you think you're dying, but you don't know where the pain comes from? The old woman's face cracked just a little. I did what I thought was right. You played God, Edwin said quietly. And now Elizabeth knows everything. She's been listening to every word we've said. They all turned. Elizabeth stood in the doorway, her phone in her hand, recording. This is perfect, Elizabeth said, her smile sharp as broken glass. The great Nwachukwu family, built on lies and stolen children. I wonder what the newspapers would pay for this story. Elizabeth, Edwin started. Shut up. She walked into the room like she owned it. Here's what's going to happen. Chioma, you're going to disappear. Tonight, Edwin will marry me as planned. Chidi will never know the truth, and in exchange, I won't destroy your family's reputation. No, Chioma said. No? Elizabeth laughed. You think you have a choice? My father needs a kidney transplant. You told me your family doctor found a donor. You said if I signed papers giving up all rights to Chidi, you'd save my father's life. Chioma stood up, her whole body shaking. That was 3 days ago. I signed everything. Where is the donor? Elizabeth's smile grew wider. There never was a donor. I lied. Your father may have only 2 weeks left. Unless...
Unless what? Unless you leave Lagos tonight and never come back. Then I'll find a real donor. I'll save your dying father, but you have to choose, your son or your father. You can't have both. The room spun. Chioma could not breathe. Edwin grabbed Elizabeth's arm. You evil... Careful, Elizabeth warned. My father is Senator Amadi. One phone call and I can have your business licenses revoked, your mother arrested for kidnapping, your precious Chidi taken away by social services. I can destroy all of you. She looked at Chioma. Or you can just leave quietly, and everyone gets what they need. Chioma thought of her father in that hospital bed in Enugu, his body failing, his time running out. She thought of Chidi, finally happy, finally connecting with the world. How do you choose between the man who gave you life and the son you gave life to? I need 1 hour, Chioma whispered. Let me say goodbye to Chidi. Then I'll go. Elizabeth checked her watch. 1 hour. Then you disappear forever. After Elizabeth left, Edwin tried to hold Kioma, but she pulled away. Don't, she said. Don't make this harder. We'll fight her. You'll lose everything. Your business, your mother, Chidi. I can't let that happen. Kioma wiped her tears. Some people are born to sacrifice. I think I'm one of them. She walked out of that mansion for the last time, carrying nothing but heartbreak.
Chioma should have known that evil never keeps its promises. 2 weeks after she left Lagos, her father died. No donor ever came. Elizabeth had lied, just like she lied about everything. Chioma buried her father in their village with money borrowed from neighbors. She stood alone at the grave, numb, empty, hollowed out like a tree struck by lightning. She had sacrificed everything, lost everything. And for what? Then her phone rang. Unknown number. Chioma! It was Edwin's voice, urgent, afraid. Where are you? It doesn't matter. Elizabeth poisoned Senator Amadi, her own father. She's completely insane. She framed you for it. The police are looking for you. Chioma's blood turned to ice. What? She served him pepper soup at a family dinner, put something in it. He's in intensive care. She told the police you made the soup, that you're taking revenge because she fired you. There's a warrant for your arrest. I didn't. I wasn't even in Lagos. I know, but she has witnesses who will lie for her. She's desperate, Chioma. The senator was investigating her background. He discovered she's not his biological daughter. She's a fraud who has been pretending for years. If he wakes up, he'll expose her. She needs him dead, and she needs you to take the blame. Chioma sat down on the red earth beside her father's fresh grave. I can't run anymore, Edwin. I'm tired. Don't say that. Listen to me. Senator Amadi woke up this morning. Before Elizabeth could stop him, he told his wife everything, including something about you. About me?
Your father, the man you just buried, he had a tribal mark on his shoulder. 3 lines. The senator has the same mark. Chioma, your father was the senator's younger brother. He was kidnapped from their village 40 years ago, sold to another family who raised him. The senator has been searching for him his whole life. The world tilted sideways. That's impossible. There's more. The senator's real daughter was stolen from the hospital 38 years ago. Same hospital where you were born. The same hospital where you gave birth to Chidi 19 years ago. Chioma, the senator's wife, wants to meet you. She thinks, I'm her daughter, Chioma whispered, understanding flooding through her like light. Elizabeth stole my identity when we were babies. The DNA test confirms it. You're Senator Amadi's niece by blood, and possibly his daughter by birth. Everything Elizabeth has was always meant to be yours. Chioma started laughing, not from joy, from the bitter cruelty of it all. She had spent her whole life believing she was nobody, an orphan, worthless, and all along she had been born into the same wealth and power that Elizabeth used to crush her. Where is Elizabeth now? Chioma asked. She ran when the DNA results came back. But Chioma, she took Chidi. She left a message saying that if we involve the police, she'll kill him. She wants you to come alone to the old warehouse in Apapa, tonight at midnight. Fear shot through Chioma's body. She'll kill us both. Probably. But I'm not letting you go alone. Edwin, if you go, she'll hurt Chidi to punish you. She wants me. Only me. I have to do this. Then I'm calling the police. No, she'll hear the sirens. She'll panic. Chioma stood up, brushing red earth from her wrapper. I spent my whole life being afraid, being small. letting people treat me like I was worthless. But I'm not worthless. I'm a mother, and mothers don't abandon their children. Chioma, if I don't come back, tell Chidi I love him. Tell him his mother fought for him. Tell him I was never brave until I had to be brave for him. She hung up before Edwin could argue. The warehouse in Apapa was dark, abandoned, smelling of rust and seawater. Chioma stepped inside, her heart pounding so hard she thought it might break her ribs. "Hello, sister." Elizabeth's voice echoed from the shadows. Then Chioma saw him, Chidi, tied to a chair, tape over his mouth, terror in his eyes, and Elizabeth was standing behind him with a knife pressed against his throat. "Did you really think you could take everything from me?" Elizabeth whispered. "Did you really think I'd just let you win?" Chioma raised her empty hands. "Let him go. This is between us." "You're right," Elizabeth said, smiling. "This is between us. So let's end it." The knife flashed in the darkness. Chioma did not think. She simply moved. As Elizabeth's knife came down, Chioma threw herself forward, catching Elizabeth's wrist. They crashed to the concrete floor together, struggling, fighting with the desperate strength of people who had nothing left to lose. "You were always weak!" Elizabeth screamed, clawing at Chioma's face. "Always nothing! You think finding out you're rich changes who you are? You're still the same pathetic girl scrubbing my shoes." "You're right," Chioma gasped, holding Elizabeth's knife hand away from her throat. "I was weak. I let people break me. But you know what's stronger than cruelty, Elizabeth? Love. A mother's love." With strength she did not know she had, Chioma twisted Elizabeth's arm. The knife clattered across the floor. Behind them, Chidi had worked his hands free. He grabbed the knife and cut the ropes around his ankles, then pulled the tape from his mouth. "Police are coming!" he shouted. "I activated the GPS tracker on my watch before she took me. They've been tracking us this whole time." Elizabeth's face went white with rage and fear. She lunged at Chioma one more time, fingers reaching for her throat. But Chioma was done being a victim. She pushed Elizabeth backward, hard. Elizabeth stumbled, hit the wall and slid down, defeated, broken. All her poison finally drained. Sirens filled the air. Red and blue lights flashed through the warehouse windows. Chioma ran to Chidi and held him. Just held him. Her son. Her beautiful, brilliant son who had never stopped looking for her, even when his data was all he had. "I'm sorry," she whispered into his hair. "I'm so sorry I left you." "You came back," Chidi said, crying. "That's all that matters. You came back." 3 months later. The wedding was small, not the massive political circus that Chief Mrs. Inwachuku had planned for Edwin and Elizabeth. Just family, real family, in Senator Amadi's compound. The senator, Chioma's uncle by blood, her adoptive father by choice, walked her down the aisle with tears streaming down his weathered face. "Your father would be so proud," he whispered to her. "My brother. I'm sorry I found him too late." "He knew he was loved," Chioma whispered back. "That's what matters." Edwin waited at the altar, wearing traditional attire, his face full of wonder like he still could not believe this was real. And beside him stood Chidi, holding the rings, his smile brighter than the sun. Chief Mrs. Inwachuku sat in the front row, smaller now, humbled. She had come to Chioma 3 weeks ago, falling to her knees, begging forgiveness. "I was wrong," the old woman had wept. "I was so wrong. I thought money and status were everything. I didn't understand that love, real love, that's the only wealth that matters. Chioma had helped her stand. I forgive you, she had said, not because you deserve it, but because I'm tired of carrying hate. It's too heavy. Now, as Chioma took Edwin's hands, as the pastor spoke words about love and commitment and family, she thought about the journey that had brought her here. She had been stolen, erased, broken, and rebuilt. She had lost everything and found everything. She had learned that strength is not about never falling. It's about standing back up, even when the world tells you to stay down. I now pronounce you husband and wife. Edwin kissed her, and Chidi cheered. Somewhere in heaven, Chioma knew her father was smiling. That night, in their new home, Chidi showed Chioma something on his computer. I've been running the data analysis again, he said, the one that found you 19 years ago. I wanted to understand how it worked, how I knew you were my mother before anyone else did. And it wasn't the data, he said quietly. The algorithm had a 98% error rate. Statistically, I should never have found you. Then how? I think it was something bigger than data. Something the numbers can't measure. Chidi took her hand. I think it was love. A son always knows his mother, even when the whole world says she's gone. Love doesn't need proof. It just knows. Chioma pulled him close, breathing in the miracle of him. Her son, her family, her second chance at life. You're right, she whispered. Love always knows. Outside, Lagos sprawled beneath the stars, a city of millions, of rich and poor, of cruelty and kindness, of people lost and found. And in that moment, Chioma was grateful for all of it, the pain and the joy, the darkness and the light. Because without the breaking, she never would have learned how strong she really was. Without the loss, she never would have known what was worth fighting for. She is Chioma Nwachukwu now. Daughter, mother, wife, survivor. And finally, she was home. This is the end of the story. After all the betrayals, the lies, and the years of separation, the woman once dismissed as nothing stand at last where she was always meant to be. Seen, loved, and free. She has crossed every shadow to find her son, faced cruelty with mercy, and turned her scars into strength. In a world obsessed with wealth and power, Chioma's journey reminds us that neither blood nor fortune defines a family. Only love does. Her story closes not with revenge, but with forgiveness. Not with tragedy, but with peace. In the city that once broke her, she builds a home, and in the heart of the son who first knew her, she is forever found.